11:12, Mike Missanelli Show. First of all, let me explain to you about Ben Simmons, since they got two premier players, and apparently your memory is faulty, because he was the Rookie of the Year when he came in, and then he made the All-Star team 3 straight times. Now, where it went bad for him was that Atlanta series, where he quit on himself and the whole league. But that year, he was also the 12th-ranked MVP in MVP standings. He was the Defensive Player of the Year his third year in the league. He was the All-NBA third team his third year in the league. And he was the Defensive Player of the Year. He finished second the next year. And then that Atlanta thing happened, and boom. And it was all done from that point on. They got two premier players with the process.
But here's my problem with that argument. They still didn't get out of the second round. So, but the same arguments that people make about Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid was the most dominant player we've ever seen in basketball, but yet we say he was not able to carry this team to pass the second round in the playoffs. Well, Ben Simmons didn't even have to be the best player on the court because he had Joel Embiid. He was the number 1 overall pick in the NBA.
But you make it sound like he was as stiff. He wasn't as stiff as early. The only thing he didn't do was take a shot. He wouldn't take a jump shot, which was maddening to everybody. But still, he was an accomplished player that they had a guy in a position that nobody else in the league had, a point guard with those kind of skills. That should have worked. And they put the right guys around them when they had the J.J. Redick and they had Tobias and Jimmy Butler and guys like that and they had guys that come off the bench, veteran guys that could make 3-point shots like those foreign players that they had. That was a good team.
Yeah, but Mike, when we talk about the process, when you get the number 3 overall pick 2 years in a row and the number 1 overall pick 2 years in a row, so in a 4-year span, you've picked third, 1, and 1.
They got two.
They should have more to show for it.
They got two premier players,
but there should have been more to show for it.
How many are going to get 4 premier players? You can't expect you're going to get 4 premier players. They got 2 of the 4. It should have been enough, and Fultz was a mistake. Turned out to be a mistake. That he fit the profile, a combo guard that they needed at the time. It just didn't work out with that guy because he had a head problem.
Can we really say that Ben Simmons was a premier player?
When he came into the league, he was a premier player.
The guy couldn't shoot.
Bill.
The guy couldn't shoot.
I don't know how much basketball you watch.
Listen, I know Ben Simmons. Look, I know he did. Listen,
he was a premier player when he came into the league. I know
he did a lot of good things. He did a lot of good things. Ton of good things. But you're telling me that if Ben Simmons was, in fact, this premier player that you're making him out to be, and you paired him with another premier player who's maybe the most dominant scorer we've ever seen in NBA history, that Embiid and Simmons alone couldn't get out of the second round?
The chance they had was Toronto, and they let one guy beat them. What do you want from me? That team should have gone to the NBA championship. 610-632-0979.
I can't give Ben Simmons credit. I just can't do it.
You're a Ben Simmons hater, which I am now, too. But at the time, you forget. Let's go back to the text board. What do we got here, Brandon?
Yeah, we got Bryant B checking in, says he was thinking about the comparison that Bill made and how he said the Sixers weren't even the Cowboys. He said the team that reminds him the most of the Sixers in the NFL is the Bengals. They have a lot of talent on their team. Neither franchise gets there as much as they should, and when they do get there, they fall short.
Again, giving the Sixers too much credit. Bengals were in the Super Bowl a couple years ago. They were. The Bengals have had a lot more success in the last decade than the Sixers.
You can discuss all you want about the requisite lack of getting past the second round. I can't go there after what happened last night. I am still focused on the disintegration of last night and how a head has to roll when you see something like that. There is no excuse for somebody keeping their job when that happened. There's none, because that's the ultimate. You're comparing that to the worst collapse ever. What you saw last night was a reflection of the worst collapse ever in a franchise. That's what you said. Well, if that's the case, somebody's got to go, no?
Yeah, I think even if you don't agree that maybe this is all on Nick Nurse, I mean, I know Daryl Morey deserves a lot of responsibility. Something has to change. Like you do. You have to do something as an organization. It can't get this bad. Someone has to answer for this.
Now, here's the reason why I don't think they would not make a change. It's the only reason. Because they think that it doesn't matter now if we make the playoffs. Our season's shot in the ass anyway. Why would we make a change now? We'll make a change later. We're not going to make a change now. What would that do? Would that give us some onus to get in the playoffs as the 10th spot? Like, this season's already a disaster. So what would a change do for it? Probably nothing. And that's what they're probably thinking.
Yeah, but I mean, can you really go into the offseason and say we're just going to run this thing back?
No. That you make your changes then. You fire the coach at what I'm saying at the end of the season.
So you would just let them ride it out?
Yeah, because at this point,
those are 25 games left.
What are you trying to gain if you make a change now? Now that defeats my. I'm going on emotion. I don't give a crap what happens for the rest of the year. I think somebody ought to lose their job for what happened last night. And in fact, I think maybe even the president of basketball operations should lose his job after what happened last night. But they're probably thinking, what would be the point of doing that now when we can wipe out the whole thing after the season? Now, and also hear this. A lot of people that are glad that they're not going to make the playoffs because they have this notion that this 1.5% chance is going to get Cooper Flagg. If it doesn't get Cooper Flagg, don't count on somebody making a significant impact. This is an overvalued draft. Cooper Flagg will make a difference right away. The kid from Rutgers, the guard, Dylan Harper, may make a difference right away. Other than that, nobody's coming in here and you're going to take in this draft that's going to make a significant difference right away.
If they tank and they get into the bottom 6, they have a 9% chance of getting the number 1 overall pick. I will take that 9% over the 0% chance that they have to get out of the first round.
If they do what?
If they come in the bottom 6, and they are the 6th worst record in the NBA.
Right now, they're not. They're what? How many teams are ahead of them for that?
I think they may be number 6. Let me see the standings again.
I think you're right. I think it was 6 as of last night. They're bottom 6.
Yeah, so they are. I mean, they're even if they completely tank, the Jazz will finish with a worse record.
Right now, their percentage is 1.5%, right, to get the number 1 pick.
No, I got it at 9%.
9
to get the 1?
Not the 1. It's 1.5% to get the number 1. If they're now, they are the 12th team in the standings.
They're team 12.
They're team 12. So that would give them a 1.5% chance to get the number 1.
I thought they were bottom 6. They're bottom 12 now?
They're team 12. They're ranked team, not bottom 12. They're 12th in scope.
Bill might be right. According to Tankathon, it is saying 9% chance to get the 1 pick.
All right, well, then I'm reading the numbers back. They're called team 12. They're 12th in the standings right now. So you're reversing that. That would make them the 6th worst team. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So at the 6th worst team, they do have a 9% chance.
Correct. Yeah. So if they are the 6th worst team, they would have a 9% chance at the number 1 overall pick, which I think we would all agree is 9% higher than their chance of getting out of the first round. They have a 0% chance of getting out of the first round.
Yeah, with that 9% for the first pick, you have a 36% chance of a top 4 pick as well.
And what Mike is saying is outside of that number 1 pick.
It better be number 1 or number 2.
Yeah.
Because
but still, that gives you a better chance.
Is the kid, they're looking at these high-ranked high school players that came into college this year as the top picks in the draft. And the one kid playing for Baylor has not had a great season. VJ Edgecombe was one of the top-ranked players going into college this year, along with the Harper, along with Ace Bailey, and along with Cooper Flagg. Ace Bailey hasn't had that great of a year either. 610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Embiidless and lifeless. I'm Brendan Gunn with your Fanatic Sports Update. Yesterday, the news broke that the Sixers and Joel Embiid were exploring all options for his knee injury, and that included being ruled out for last night's game. Without Embiid, the Sixers fell to the Chicago Bulls by a score of 142-110. After the game, head coach Nick Nurse was asked by a reporter why they don't officially just shut Embiid down for the season, and you can listen to that exchange right now.
Given the record and a game like tonight, why not just shut down Joe for the rest of the year?
Just not there yet. Just not there yet as an organization.
Well, they might get there soon, and when they do, we'll keep you updated all week long on the Fanatic. And the NFL Combine began yesterday out in Indianapolis, and today we hear from some members of the Eagles organization. Howie Roseman and Nick Sirianni are set to speak to the media around 2 p.m. today if they say anything interesting. Again, we'll keep you updated here on the Fanatic all day long. And the Flyers, they welcome in the Pittsburgh Penguins tonight at the Wells Fargo Center. Puck drops at 7. You can listen to that game live right here on the Fanatic. This update was brought to you by Worldwide Stereo. Worldwide Stereo's new trade-in program makes upgrading your home audio easy. Trade in your used audio and video game gear for superior sound in 2025. Learn more at worldwidestereo.com. I'm Brendan Gunn on the home of the 76ers and the Flyers, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Hey everybody, it's Bill Colarulo. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Make sure you like and subscribe to our channel so you can engage during the show, and you're not going to want to miss all the content that we post. It's not only the live videos, it's videos after the fact. It's our shorts. It's all the content you want as a Philadelphia sports fan. Looking forward to connecting.